Welcome to the Pool Podcast again. I'm really glad to see that you're here still listening to us. Today, I would like to introduce two very dear friends. One of them you probably already know, Fredrik Boge, founder of The Pool. Fredrik, welcome.
Thank you so much, Christian.
And Carrie Suleiman. She's been involved with The Pool basically from the beginning. I remember seeing you downstairs even while we were at construction. So you've seen our journey. You've been an important part of it. So I'm really excited to get Carrie involved, and she can explain a little bit what she does and her vision and the impact that she's actually having locally. So Carrie, if you don't mind, I would love everybody to get to know you a little bit more. So I would like if you could just tell them a little bit who you are and what you do.
My name's Carrie, and I'm Canadian. I grew up in Edmonton, which is northern Canada, which is
Wow.
a lovely place to grow up, but very, very cold. And I know that you can both relate being from Sweden. So I was really grateful to be born there and to be Canadian in general, because I think that cold climates really breed industrious, creative people. And I lived there until I was 18, and then I moved to Toronto. And at 25, I met Razor, my soulmate, in Toronto. And he was such an exciting guy. And he said, hey, do you want to go on a magic carpet ride? And it's taken us all over the world.
No way.
Yeah.
He said that?
Yes.
I think we got to create T-shirts with that sentence, by the way. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And he was right, because what an amazing life we've had. Yeah.
Obviously, now you open the door to that conversation. So now I want to know that carpet ride, what is actually where it started and where it's taking you and how you actually landed here.
Yeah, so we were in Toronto, and Razor was the founder of a tech startup called Achievers. It's a HR tech platform. And he got Sequoia funding out of Silicon Valley. So it took us to first Boston for a year, but then to California for a couple of years. And it was absolutely amazing to be living in San Francisco at that time, 2010. We were working out of a co-working space, and Uber and Etsy were our neighbors, and we got to know these guys. Like, this is back when Uber only offered black cars as a service, when it was just an idea. And it was so incredible to be in San Francisco at that time, where I feel like everything felt possible. And being in an environment like that, where you're bumping into people that you normally wouldn't have the opportunity to get to know. And it was just, such an incubation, or such an incubator of ideas. Yeah. So being in San Francisco, and then we decided when we had our son to move back to Canada. We wanted to be closer to family. And when we were in Canada, we started Elevate, which was our not-for-profit. Achievers had sold. We had a great outcome, a great exit, and we were looking for what is our next act, what is the next give back project that we wanted to do.
Yes, because knowing Razor, I can't see him just sitting at home and relaxing after a while. So I could imagine he was quite quick to jump to the next step, right?
Maybe a couple months he took off, and
Wow.
he just relaxed and enjoyed his success and his victory lap. And then before you know it, he was ready to create the next big thing.
Such a power couple.
Oh.
But you had to explain Elevate in North America. What was it like?
Yes, so
before you sold
Elevate. Yes, so it was a 3-day tech festival, and it was in Toronto, and it was celebrating Canadian tech founders and the industry there. And the main focus of it was that in tech, and especially being a woman in tech, I know this firsthand, is that in tech at that time, the opportunities were very concentrated on one demographic of people. And it was hard as a woman or maybe a person of color to be able to stand out and have your say. And Elevate was this amazing platform where we welcomed all sorts of people to come to the stage and present what they were working on and what they were passionate about. And I'm happy to say that 57% of the speakers that we had on the Elevate main stage were women.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
If I could just jump in there, because I'm obviously what I do, I'm really curious about the early days of Elevate. Because, I mean,
Yes.
when you talk about one of these successful projects, you always get the image of the last version of it, right? When everything is
Yes.
fine tuned, everything is working. But I would like to know more about maybe the early stages of Elevate. Do you have any memories from that? Any interesting situations?
Yes. So the first early days of Elevate were absolute chaos. I was 6 months pregnant and we were throwing a festival in 3 months. So if you do the math on that,
Wow.
it was a little tight. But Razor doesn't like to do things slow. He likes to go out with a bang. So when I was 6 months pregnant, he partnered with the mayor of Toronto and decided to throw this 3-day festival in September, a month before my due date. And I mean, at the time, we didn't even have full-time staff. It was an army of
It
volunteers.
was a
Really.
family business.
Yes, it was. Yes. And Razor was in charge of the vision, partnerships, sales, and programming. And I was in charge of the brand and marketing and printing and just everything came together. We're so lucky because that first festival on main stage, we were so grateful that we had amazing partners around us and we had great speakers coming. I think the most notable in that first year was Jeffrey Hinton, who's the godfather of AI, who has been in the news recently
Yeah.
a lot. And it was amazing what we were able to pull off. But there is a little story behind the scenes that maybe is not so well known, which is the day before main stage, my water broke. And
No
so
way.
actually, Razor's speech coach drove us to the hospital. And on the way, we're talking about what's going to happen if he's not there to headline this festival that he just created and the contingency planning. But luckily, she wasn't quite ready yet. So we came back home that night and we just went back to practicing. And actually, 2 days after Elevate, Arya was born. Yes.
Well,
So
so you can actually maybe even say that your daughter, was her birth is completely and utterly related to Elevate and how you managed to
yes.
balance those two things. I mean, if that's not entrepreneurship, what is, right? I mean, it's
Yes. Razor really wanted to name her Ellie because of
No
Elevate,
way.
but I said no for that. No. 'Cause
Then the boss came in
yes,
saying no.
yes. I had final say. with
Finito.
that.
yeah.
Exactly.
Basta.
Exactly. Yes. But Elevate, maybe started, I don't even want to say that it started modestly. It started off being a big deal. But then over the years, the people that it pulled into its orbit and the people that we were able to bring on main stage, like in 2019, we had Michelle Obama headlining, which was just incredible. We had Martha Stewart was there, Guy Kawasaki, Whitney Wolf Herd from Bumble, who was a
Yeah.
very big deal at the time. Who else? We had Akon. We had a lot of artists as well because there was also nighttime programming. So we had Akon and Wyclef
Nice.
Jean and some really famous DJs that were there. So it was just incredible.
Hopefully by that stage at the end, you did actually have some full-time employees, right? Because I mean,
Yes. We did grow very quickly, and it was extremely successful. Now, unfortunately, we're doing so well, and everything is great, and then COVID hit, and this is a large scale event for 30,000 people. All of a sudden, was a little less viable with COVID, but I'm actually so grateful for that because I don't think either of us would have stopped doing Elevate, but COVID forced us to stop and say, okay, what's the next chapter of our lives? And that's what brought us to Europe. We wouldn't be here if not for that.
Amazing.
Hmm.
And and I wonder also when you uh, produced Elevate with the artist and night program as well. Did that develop during the time, or how long? When was the perfect recipe according to you?
Right from the beginning, that was baked in. We modeled Elevate after South by Southwest in Austin,
Okay.
which has both
yeah,
an
yeah.
interactive component for
Yeah.
founders and startups,
Yeah.
but also has the artist and the creative wing of it. So from the get-go, it was really like all encompassing of all of those.
Elements.
Hmm.
really interesting because then obviously we've got the Elevate part, which,
Mhm.
as you said, led to you forcefully looking for your next step in life.
Yeah.
What happened next?
What happened next? We had never heard of Marbella. I would say in North America, it wasn't well known, Marbella. In fact, we thought it was called Marbella. We said, "Oh, we're moving to this place called Marbella."
Don't worry, some people still call it Marbella, so yeah, don't worry.
But Razor was working at the time with a Silicon Valley-based startup, a prop tech startup, and he was hired as the president of Europe to bring that startup to Europe, and that's what brought us here. We thought it was only going to be for 9 months, maybe a year, and we thought, what a fun adventure for the family. We packed everybody up. And then shortly after we got here, we just fell in love with it. There's so much to fall in love with about Marbella. The sunshine and the sea and the healthy diets and the wellness focused people and just the community that we got to know in that first year. We got to know you in that first year in the pool and fell in love with this beautiful space. And what I really loved is that it really brings together creative people, future focused and purpose driven people, brings them together, and it gives them a sense of belonging and a sense of community. And when we first moved here, we had left all of our family and friends, and we were really looking for that. We needed to feel like we belonged somewhere, and so we feel like we belong here.
So cool. But what do you think is the difference when you came here compared to California? What's the big difference?
I would say I loved living in San Francisco, but it's a big city. And we've lived in several big cities, Toronto and Boston and San Francisco. And I would say that you don't get that same feeling of community that you get in Marbella. I think those social connections that we have of it being a small world, of knowing people, of walking down the street and running into people that you know, that's something that you don't really feel in the big city. And here it's different. It feels more like a village with a global reach.
It's something we actually spoke earlier about. I
Mhm.
think one of the factors that contributes to that
Mhm.
is the fact that not many people here are from Marbella, which
Yes.
means that everybody comes and knows what it is to arrive in Marbella without your circle, without your network. And I think everybody's kind of open in that aspect.
Yes.
So if they see that you're new there,
Mhm.
obviously maybe they know you're going through the same struggles that they did. It's like, okay, let's talk about schools, let's talk about, I don't know, restaurants or network.
Yeah.
So I think that it could be one of the contributing factors to actually to reinforce
Yes.
what you said. So so obviously then you were here. Obviously we came out, you came along and we met the pool,
Mhm.
and I don't know, call it destiny or not, but then all of a sudden Elevate was back on the table.
Yes. You know, I think that being here and being surrounded by these amazing people, Razor was thinking maybe Elevate, maybe it does have a place in Europe, but as smaller, more of a members group, more of a forum of people that are getting together and sharing their ideas. And many of our founding members, actually, you introduced us to, who are members of the pool, who, you know, the people that come here, they could live anywhere in the world. They've been successful in their home countries and they're working on their second or their third company. And they come and they're looking for that sense of community. And I feel like Elevate 2.0 was born in Marbella 2.0 from here, from the pool specifically.
And the day we had the Elevate Forum, for me, obviously, I think it kind of marked both Elevate's future, but also the pools. Because, I mean, imagine we just launched this concept that we're bringing people together. We've got a physical space for it. And all of a sudden, you see that within your physical space, you got the area where we do the events, and you got Diraj on stage, and you've got Ennis who was there as well.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, that was amazing. I mean, I was just wondering, how did that feel for you? Because you didn't bring them to Boston, Toronto, San Francisco. No, they were in Marbella. How did that feel?
It felt amazing to be in the audience and see Diraj go on stage and talk about founding Shazam and talk about not just his successes, but his failures. You know,
Yeah.
I think it's when you hear a founder talk about not the highlight reel, not the PR kit of all the things that went right, but exactly to your point when you asked me about the early days of Elevate, talking about the things that went wrong. You know,
Yeah.
because the persistence of getting up after failure is what makes a good founder, in my opinion.
100%.
So sitting here and seeing those very inspiring speakers on stage, I really had this sense of we're in the right place at the right time.
And then obviously, you listening to this don't know this, but I know just having one project like Elevate for you was not enough. So you thought that, hey, why not create Launch Academy? So now it's going to be on your lap to actually explain what Launch Academy actually is.
Yes.
And study.
Yes.
Okay, come on.
Yes.
You-
So right now,
But no babies on on stage
no,
yet.
no. So right now I'm working towards my master's of digital design at Harvard. And this summer I was taking a class on video game development. And my kids are 7 and 9, and they love video games. So they were always looking over my shoulder. They were so interested, but also looking at the code. You know, they would get a little bored and they would wander away. But I could tell that they had this love for video games, and they love to play video games, or even worse is they love to watch other kids play video games on YouTube. And as a mom, I hated that. I always thought, what a waste of their talent and
I
their
vouch for that as well.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
know. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I started thinking about, they have this passion. How can we harness it? And how can we turn this into a learning opportunity? So I started taking the topics that we were learning in that Harvard class and distilling it down to a level that they could understand and run with. And we started building these small video games in Scratch. And what I loved about it is it was the opportunity to learn the fundamentals of computer science and visual design and user experience, but with the fun game, like the construct of a game that they understand, and just the fact that they could say at the end of it, I made this. It's
Yeah.
not when you watch a YouTube tutorial of how to code a video game, it's like, sure, at the end, maybe you have something that's a game. But that sort of procedural knowledge, it breaks down as soon as something's wrong. And if you don't conceptually understand the code behind it, you're lost. So it's like being able to give them the agency to create games on their own and have that sense of ownership of I made this was really powerful for me. So what I decided was, how cool would it be if it wasn't just the three of us? What if we asked a group of your friends if they wanted to get together and do this after school? And that's how Lunch Academy was born. And at Lunch Academy, we believe that creativity is the currency of the future, because the tools that we use are always changing. I've been in this industry for 25 years, and the evolution that I've seen in my lifetime,
Crazy.
it's crazy, and it's exponentially
Yeah.
getting crazier.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not teaching the kids how to do one thing. I'm teaching them how to prepare themselves to do anything. And it's like, how do you teach them how to have creativity, to have the confidence to talk about their ideas, to collaborate with each other, and to build things that they're proud of?
And if I were to put myself in one of your students' his feet, okay, all of a sudden you're here in Marbella, you're school age, and you got a MIT graduate doing a master's in Harvard teaching you to program.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad.
It's not bad.
No, it's not bad. It's definitely not bad. And I got to say, now from my perspective, you do the courses here at the pool.
In this very room,
and-
actually.
Yeah,
Yes, in this room.
In this very room.
Love it.
And I got to say, because you started, what time is it? 4:15?
It's after school, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
About 4:15.
And it's the cutest thing ever. You see 5 or 6 kids just walking in their t-shirts and they come into the meeting room following Carrie. It's a really cool thing to do, and it pretty much aligns in everything that we believe in, right? I mean, it's the new generations to pass on information, to share that knowledge. And it's something that I know that you're very passionate about, Fredrik,
Yes.
and something that you're really involved in personally as well.
Yes. No, that is in common, Carrie. I mean, the whole initiative you have and the things that we're doing with Pool of Talents, and that is exactly you were spot on. It's to make we are Pool of Talent focusing on kids from 17 up, and it's also about life is changing, and it's also about ownership. What am I good at? Where should I start? And Marbella is pretty tricky there because we have the best schools, like your kids in the schools here, and nobody knows that it's one of the best schools in Europe here in Marbella, international schools, and for them to get into the in comparison to what you had in big cities like San Francisco or Palo Alto, you have all these tech companies. Here you don't have it. So it starts improving in this sense, and that's what we believe in. We all three believe in, but for them it's so important to get experience and get excited what I'm good at. Am I good at marketing? Am I good in finance, or like to develop, or what is my thing? And you don't know when you're 17. Most of the kids doesn't know. So I really believe in the same goal to make young kids prepared for the adult life, but also have a possibility to train where you're good at, train how to speak, and especially Americans are really good in how to present and so on. And we had, I think we have in Pool of Talents, which is like an intern program to get experience. And we have been trying this for what is it, Christian, 2 years now, or 1.5?
More or less, yeah.
Yeah, and you see the people that has been involved growing, and that's the passion. And because I think when we also, it's not only about get them experienced and see where they are good at, and when they grow and go to university, maybe in Oxford or in Berlin or in the US, they had some experience a little bit what they want, so they can focus more on things they want to explore. But it's also about, I think, to get impact sense, because we have seen, Christian and I, since we have worked with this, that it's a lot of families that are moving back here. They were here maybe when they were young, and then they coming back. It's going to be more in the future. So therefore, it's also about, get some impact what we are doing in the area and be proud of it.
And it's fun because obviously we all three come from very different backgrounds. I actually studied in a semi-public school here in Spain. So for me, it's really interesting to see, because entrepreneurship is a word that you do not hear here at school. So for me, this is like completely new. And then obviously you got Fredrik, who's had all these experiences back in Sweden and different places, and you come from a complete different educational background. So for me, when we were talking about this at the beginning, for me, that was just like a game changer. It's like, come on, if we can enhance this here, that is something that really does create impact, because education is the basis of everything.
100%.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
And also sharing. I mean, we have all these AI now, all the digital focus, but we also need this for experience and where what I'm good at. If you just have kids in front of the phone or in front of the computer, they don't see and they don't interact. It's very hard to do development. So I think the mix is perfect, like you said, to adapt new things and grow. And even us as adults would need to grow as well. So in that sense, I'm so curious about the whole background we have been preparing for this year. What is because now we had the secret with Marbella 2.0 is not a secret anymore. Can you tell everybody about the background? What happened?
Yeah, well, it's quite funny, actually. It's definitely not a secret anymore. I will get to that. But I mean, I like to, as you said, I mean, sometimes we always focus at the end product, and we are still very early stages, but it's how it started. And obviously, we created the pool basically to create this meeting place and to get all this talent together. But all of a sudden, you keep on trying to relate or to define what your end game is, and it's difficult to put under a brand or name. And then all of a sudden, we have been talking about Marbella 2.0 from the beginning. We even mention it sometimes, but then all of a sudden it's like, well, you know what? It was actually, I think it was Alfredo, myself, and Artem in the room.
Alfredo is here.
Yeah, exactly. Alfredo is quite close.
He's secret.
But all of a sudden, I don't remember who it was, but it's like, I think it was you, Alfredo, but it was, with mentioning Marbella 2.0 so many times, that's our goal. That's where we want to be. So in a nutshell, Marbella 2.0 is the vision that Marbella has a lot more to it than being a destination just for the quality of life and well-being, etc. we can actually see the potential of Marbella becoming a hub for business.
Mm-hmm.
That, in a nutshell, it's what it is. But then there's so many angles to it. I mean, just Launch Academy could be something that falls into that. The pool of talent, the
Same
entrepreneurship,
package.
and
Yes.
now with the amount of people that we're meeting here,
Mm-hmm.
we just seem that everybody wants to have a positive impact in Marbella. Everybody believes in this vision long term. So now it's just okay, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got the concept Marbella 2.0. Let's work on it. So now we've got an event on the 8th of May
Yes.
where we're going to be launching it, which is really, really exciting. We're already working on the program. We're not revealing yet what it's going to be precisely,
It's a
but
secret
but
still.
it's one of the few things that we tend to keep a secret. But yeah, it's going to be great fun for sure, and I definitely think that it's going to be of positive impact for Marbella. That is for sure.
And if you're looking at Marbella 2.0, I mean, we were mentioned the stakeholders. We have, students, kids. We have university. What else is the stakeholders to do impact in this region? What is your thought on that?
My thought of that is that everybody can create impact at their level, right? In their industry that they're working on. I think real estate could do impact in their way. I think the industry could do. I think just us as the pool can do quite a lot of impact in that as well. Education is going to be like one of the founding pillars of all this is. So I just think there's so many things involved. First step would be to analyze where we are right now. That is, okay, I'm revealing a little bit of what the event is going to entail, but yeah, one of the steps is going to be where Marbella stands now from an entrepreneurial point of view and things that we need to work on. So that is stage number one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What is your vision of Marbella 2.0? That is my vision. That's the one that we've come to. You, as a foreigner who's seen so many places, who has experienced Marbella in a very particular way, how do you see Marbella? What would your version of Marbella 2.0 be?
Well, I would say we came here in 2021, and like I mentioned, we had not ever heard of it. So I didn't have any sort of preconceived notion coming in of what Marbella was about. It was only after, hearing maybe the reputation in the past has been that it's a place to party or retire or go golfing. But that's not the Marbella that I know at all, because the Marbella that I know, it's very family focused. It's very, there's a lot of people from the tech sector. I think that there's a lot of great startups that are coming here. And like I mentioned, I feel like the people that live here could live anywhere. So the quality of people that we meet is just outstanding. I would say that it's so easy to make friends here. I mean, you can be standing at a stoplight and you can just turn to the person next to you and say, "Oh, hi, where are you from?" Because everybody is looking for that connection. In terms of what I see happening, I think more and more things like immersive theater are coming to Marbella. I think more and more shows, comedians, more culture, more events coming. I think that the restaurants are top tier, and I don't know. I'm so excited to see
I
what
agree with
happens.
you with the
Yeah.
culture thing. I mean,
Yes.
that is something we look at, and that's why we also have uh, art here, for instance, because
Yes.
it's more easy to access.
Mhm.
But I 100% agree that we lack of culture and things regarding that. Malaga is pretty close, and Sevilla, but it's right here we don't have enough. So I agree. What else do you see? What do you don't want to happen if we
Uh,
take the other side?
I mean, I think that I don't want it to grow too big too fast. I kind of want this, the secret's out. Everybody knows about Marbella. In 2024, Forbes named it the #1 top European destination. And so it's like now the secret's out.
Yeah.
So I
That's
think
secret as well.
yes,
Yeah, exactly.
yes. And then with this recent piece of Marbella 2.0 in which the pool was featured, I think it's amazing.
And Razor.
And
Razor.
Razor as well.
And Alfredo.
Yes, yes. What amazing press for Marbella. So I think what I don't want to happen is for it to get too big too quickly, because I love that community feel. I love that small town feel that we have here. It's like all the best things about a village, but with all of the opportunities and excitement of a big city.
It's all about sustainable growth, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think we may have some advantages in that aspect. we can learn from other places.
Mm.
What growing too fast, too quickly makes happen. So I'm just thinking we're in a good position because I mean we've got this some consolidated concepts about Marbella, right? We've got the lifestyle, which is undeniable. There are some things to work on, but it just feels that a sustainable growth is now vital. Especially now that we're, as you said, like Forbes, Financial Times featuring, well, Marbella in general, us and you guys, and so it's just another angle. So it just seems that the opportunities have opened up quite a lot. But yeah, I agree. I think the one of the topics of Marbella 2.0 is actually how to grow
Yeah.
in a sustainable way. We're not talking just environment. We're talking about socially sustainable infrastructure, everything. And then it's really fun that you guys jumped into the culture part because it's something that we really believe as well. As you said, Malaga does have maybe not enough for the size that it is, and that is something I definitely think should be part of Marbella 2.0 as well.
And also, what I think that you also point out, I think it's super important when we do this sustainable growth, but also to have, I mean, I'm a foreigner, and I think it's super important to have the local people adjust and love this growth as well. So that's why I believe also in a slow growth, so they feel comfortable, because the mix of Marbella has is unique, because you have the Spanish, and within the pool, it's a very important element with the Spanish entrepreneurs behind us and with us, but still international focus. So the local, I think, is key, and I know that is one of the things that you also addressed quite heavily, because you grow up here.
Exactly. I mean, I'm more Spanish than anything else. So, I mean, for me, that obsession with linking Marbella, Malaga, and, you know, to keep that connection viable for me is really, really important.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that it takes steps. I mean, the first one is obviously first, Malaga needs to know what Marbella is really about, and Marbella needs to know what Malaga is about.
Exactly.
So I think at some point, I mean, we'll be talking about the entire coast.
Yeah.
And I think that is the natural growth of the entire project.
Couldn't you explain a little bit what Malaga has compared with Marbella? Because I think it's interesting, even if we have Marbella 2.0, we have like more a coast focus, like you said.
Yep.
So what is the best from Malaga from your point of view?
Well, obviously, Malaga has been receiving quite good press lately when it comes to the tech scene. We got all the big companies in Malaga. So if we're looking at an analogy with Silicon Valley, Malaga could be the equivalent to what San Francisco would be, and Marbella could be the version of Palo Alto or something like that. So obviously, salient differences, right? I mean, and to be honest, I think Europe needs to look into what they need and to create something that maybe not copy necessarily, following exactly the same standards. But here we've got some potential with Malaga being on the focus of the tech scene. We've got companies like Google, Decra, Vodafone, Citigroup. I mean, the EY. Maybe you've got all these big companies coming here, and they're coming here for a reason. So I think the focus is really on Malaga, and I think that Marbella will benefit from that because we've got, let's call it, the tech entrepreneurs here, and if you've got the talent in Malaga, it just makes a lot of sense. You can have your team of developers in Malaga. You can get the benefits of working with the big corporations, but the big corporations do not have a presence in Marbella per se. But you've got the talented entrepreneurs and so forth. So I think that will be how I see the link. And I think each region is going to have like a very distinctive role. But the first step for that is that in Malaga, we stop talking about Marbella like it's Gibraltar, like, you know, a different country, etc. And in Marbella, that we actually open up to a little what's happening in Malaga. Yeah.
And similar to Palo Alto, Marbella, I think, is a place where there's a lot of capital. There's a lot of fund managers. There's a lot of VCs here. So
Family office.
Family office. So those who are looking to scale up their businesses, this is an amazing opportunity to meet people who be able to help you and invest in your dream.
And it's funny because the director, Felipe Romera, director from the Technology Park in Malaga, he's been here a couple of times and he always comes back with the same sentence. It's like, we've got some companies, even startups, that are really worth it. But they always tend to emigrate to Madrid, to Valencia, to Barcelona. Why? Because, I mean, there's funding there. So I think maybe bridging this Malaga-Marbella thing could solve that and may retain the talent that we already have locally.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
And that, you know, gets back to where we started as well, talking about the kids. I mean, we are almost history. So, I mean, that's also, I think, a key point that I know Christian and I have talked quite a lot about. It's also to have the ecosystem with the universities, with the top schools involved, the parents there, and so on. And Malaga has great schools, universities, but very Spanish. Here is very international. So in that sense, I think it's also a very big part of the coast that we have, great schools for kids to choose to stay here as well, or for people to come and study here. So we attract the best one to be here.
So I think from the Silicon Valley analogy, we're missing the Stanford. Yeah, exactly. But
I agree. And the thought of my kids leaving and going to London and going to Cambridge, it
Exactly.
breaks my heart. I wish that there was a place that they could go that would be close to here, that would keep them, at arm's reach.
at least
And you can't start to elevate there. No.
Well, they're young, so we have lots of time.
Yeah,
So let's get working on it.
Yeah, already in London, right?
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes, exactly. Yes, Elevate is in Marbella, London, Toronto, and San Francisco. All the best cities, all the best places I would
yeah,
want
so
to
you still have the places to, go to.
Yes,
And still,
yes.
this is home, right?
This is home.
This is home.
I would love to live in Marbella for the rest of my days. Honestly, I can't think of a better place. And we've lived in several different places, but this is home. This is where I belong.
I'm expecting you to stay. We need you guys. So yeah, we
Stay.
can. We
Christian, what
gotta,
about you? You have been here almost your life. You've been out traveling all around the world.
I've been around.
Are you gonna be here? What's your 5-year focus?
I'll be here. I mean, 5-year focus is pretty much. I mean, if I keep on finding what I'm doing as exciting as I do right now, could do this to the end of my days. I mean, this is a lot of fun. We're really creating something unique here. So it's exciting, and I have no reason at all to go anywhere. I agree with Carrie. I mean, this is a great place to be. And you're here all the time now. So yeah, I think you would vouch for that as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Carrie, I know that you have Elevate, Launch Academy, but that seems not to be enough.
Yeah.
You're coming up with something new.
Oh my God.
Top
Are you oh my God.
Yes, I do have something else that's been keeping me up at night. So we were talking about culture and bringing more culture here to Marbella. And something that I've been doing for a decade back in Toronto was running murder mystery game nights.
Oh.
And I always wanted to continue to do that. It just drives me so much. There's something so exciting about it. And so then after COVID, it took a little bit of a backseat, obviously. We weren't allowed to gather. But now I think is the time to bring it back. And I think Marbella is the most amazing place to launch it. So Killer Party is going to be launching this spring in Marbella.
Okay.
So it's a murder mystery immersive theater experience where you come as a character, real, fictional, alive, dead. The range of people that we have coming is just incredible. We have James Bond, Cleopatra, Donald Trump, unfortunately, will be here. Sports stars, actresses, politicians. It's quite a mixed bag. But basically, you come and we're all together in this space. And I can't give too much away, but there is a mystery.
don't say who the murderer is. So let's leave that out for now. Yeah.
Nobody knows but me.
Okay.
Even till the end, nobody knows but me. But there's a mystery to solve, and you get to be part of this interactive experience that has riddles and games and performances. And in the end, you're asked to be Sherlock Holmes and figure out who done it. And it's just an amazing night. What I love about it is that it brings people together, and we can all just drop our inhibitions and just be a character, whoever you want to embody for the night. And it's a really great way to interact with other people.
Is there anything because I mean, you said it's going to happen in spring, you said?
Yes,
Yeah. Is there
yes.
anything you're missing, anything you need help with while some people are listening, or you've got everything covered? I know that you tend to have good control of everything, so I'm guessing that you've got everything covered, but if you need help.
Well, right now we're still in stealth mode. Right now it's a private event. It's invitation only at this
course.
moment. However, if you go to killerparty.com and you sign up to be up on the wait list, we've got a couple things cooking that we're excited to be launching in the fall. So just keeping an eye out of the next opportunity.
Really cool.
I wonder if you have any more plans for this year now when we talk about it. Do we have any more cooking things during the year?
Well, we just launched 3 new verticals. So we got the women in business. Which
Yes.
obviously,
Very
I'm
excited.
I mean,
I already
I'm not
signed
even
up.
bringing it up
Good.
to you because I'm already. Yeah,
Good.
you already signed up.
I already
Okay.
signed up.
Good.
Yeah.
You did your homework. Good. We've got Longevity Club, which has already had the first session. So we're going to do a next one as well. People really enjoyed it. Talking about how to cook with really healthy products,
Amazing.
nutritionist, neurologist, mental well-being. I mean, it's really, really interesting. And the prop tech and real estate vertical is also on the way. So yeah, it's really exciting. Those are the things. Then obviously Marbella 2.0 is my main focus nowadays. But yeah, we've got many things, different companies coming here to do their retreats, etc. So yeah, exciting times.
And it's full?
We're full.
How are
We're
we going to
full.
solve that?
Well, I would ideally like to expand, but as we were talking about, sustainable growth, I think, is the key.
Yes.
We've been full basically when it comes to private offices since the beginning. We do have obviously members who are joining all the time. So it's all about enriching the community. That is my focus, Marbella 2.0 and enriching the community. How about you? What are you going to be working on for the rest of the year? We've already been going on for 42 minutes, I see. So, Fredrik,
Oh my God.
so Fredrik,
Time flies.
let's try to keep it down to at least 1 hour.
Yeah. So Marbella 2.0. That's number one, and that's what you and me gonna focus on. And also, this is the first year we are in full operation. First year was last year, and that was only to. And I must say that Christian did a great job with his team, and we come this far that we're sitting here, and we did the Elevate, which was amazing. That we're gonna do this year as well.
Yes.
So that is going to be one big thing, and the second thing is to get a full operation year. And you and me are working from the board sector, and we need to get it, just like you said, stable, but also we have a fundamental sustainability in the company as well, which we have now. But now we have to grow in a sensible way to prioritize our growth in a
Exactly.
good way.
Exactly.
Sustainable as well.
Yes, but it's not a bad thing to be fully subscribed. Everybody wants to go to a party that's full, that says we don't have
Good
room for
point.
you. So I
Good
think,
point.
I mean, everybody that I talk to knows the pool and is excited to join. And I think that, if there's a little bit of scarcity, I think that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine to be in the position. Maybe we were a little bit crazy from the beginning.
Yeah,
Like we
were.
we set this filter. There were certain industries that we didn't want to overcrowd the pool with, so we were really focused on making sure we had a mix of different profiles and different industries. So to create this growth, right? So we did that from the beginning. We started by saying no quite a lot.
Yeah.
And now that we've got this space, now we're actually opening up a little bit more. But I mean, it's just an really exciting thing to be. I mean, thanks to the pool, I know you, and I know you, and there's so many extra things that occur
39
there.
different nationalities.
Amazing.
Half women and men.
Yep.
Majority between 35 and 45.
Yeah, the big
right?
age group was 35, 45. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect
Exciting.
demographic. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Fredrik, thank
Muchas
you for your
gracias.
time. Carrie, extremely happy to have
you.
opened it up for more people to get to know you and to hear about Elevate, Launch Academy, and Killer Party.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I hope to keep on doing more things with you and keep you involved in the community. And yeah,
The
that's
pleasure
everything.
is mine.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.